No one knew I had a sex addiction until the night of the company retreat. I had forgotten my medication, and I was forced to share a tent with a male coworker. Under his gaze, I climaxed instantly, tears welling in my eyes. With things having come to this, my desire spiraled completely out of control. The company organized a last-minute retreat, and that was the night I forgot my pills. The moment my supervisor announced we'd be staying overnight at the hot springs, my heart began to pound uncontrollably. Even the slightest touch from a man could make my desire erupt like a volcano, often sending me straight over the edge. I'd never told a soul because it was too humiliating. When I was younger, I thought I'd grow out of it, but the symptoms only got worse. Once, I almost moaned out loud on a busy street, swallowing the almost unbearable shame. I finally sought medical help and got a prescription. But this trip was so sudden that I forgot to bring my medication, and we were in the middle of nowhere. I desperately tried to suppress my rising panic, telling myself to just hold on. I hung back at the rear of the group, but then my supervisor suddenly called out, "Sorry everyone, the rooms are all booked. We have some tents, but there aren't enough to go around, so you'll have to double up. Clara, you're with Jax." The situation was dire. Here I was, a sex addict without her medication, crawling into a tent with a well-built man. I curled up in the farthest corner, biting my lip and shutting my eyes, praying I could fall asleep while the last traces of the medication were still in my system. Just then, Jax shifted closer. "What's wrong?" he asked in a low voice. I could feel the warmth of his body against my back, and my skin tingled as if struck by an electric current. "Nothing. I'm fine. Please, just stay away from me." But the sensation was already spreading through me, and I knew the agony was about to begin. I glanced at my phone. It was midnight, 6 hours since my last dose. The medication was about to wear off. Soon, my whole body was trembling, and a wave of heat surged from between my legs. I buried my head in my knees to hide from Jax's gaze. If anyone found out, they'd call me a slut, and my career at the company would be over. Meanwhile, our other tent mate, Tyler, was already snoring loudly. I clenched my fists so tightly my nails dug into my palms, breaking the skin. The sharp pain helped clear my head for a second. "Sorry," I managed to force out to Jax. "I'm not trying to avoid you. I just don't feel well." Without a word, Jax moved closer and gently placed his large, warm hand on my forehead. Even as his hand rested there, my eyes drifted down to his chest, my vision blurring. Through his thin shirt, I could see the sharp lines of his collarbones and his firm pectoral muscles, sculpted and defined. The next second, my body tensed, and a wave of humiliating pleasure washed over me. A moan nearly escaped my lips, but I choked it back. The worst part was that the climax only made my shaking more violent. Jax definitely noticed. "That's weird. Your face is flushed, but you don't have a fever," he murmured, his fingers gently tracing my forehead and cheek. I trembled even more and turned away, but my back was already pressed against the tent wall. There was nowhere to go. I clamped my jaw shut, refusing to make a sound, realizing I had to get out of this enclosed space. The air was filled with Jax's scent. He didn't smoke, which only made the clean smell of soap and his natural pheromones more potent. In the afterglow, every nerve ending down there was on fire, a tingling, sensitive ache. In a panic, I shoved Jax. He stumbled back, and I scrambled out of the tent, not caring that my skirt was too short or that my soaked underwear was now on full display. He quickly looked away, trying to be respectful, but he wasn't stupid. He seemed to guess something was wrong and followed me out, even as my body completely betrayed me. A burning heat consumed my lower body. I had never felt a craving this intense. My mind was filled with the image of Jax's collarbones peeking out from under his white shirt, the line of his throat, his healthy skin, and the warmth of his palm. I only took a few steps before my knees gave out, and I collapsed to the ground. The desire was like a flood, so overwhelming I didn't